The marble lobby hummed with a soft echo of morning footsteps, but for Malik Green, the sound snapped apart the moment the officer's voice cut through it. Sharp, cold, commanding. "Show me your ID. Now." Malik turned slowly, a paper cup of coffee warming his hand, steam drifting into the chilled air. Officer Harlan Tate stood beneath the skylight, one hand on his belt, the other resting near his holster. Not touching it, but close enough that the message landed like a threat. Sunlight glinted off the badge that allowed Tate to speak as if the lobby belonged to him. Malik's heartbeat tightened. He had walked through this lobby every morning for years, unnoticed, unbothered. Today, a new security detail and a single assumption changed everything. "I work here," Malik said quietly. Tate's lip curled. "Didn't ask where you wish you worked." A few people glanced over, then quickly looked away. The silence of witnesses. The kind Malik knew too well. Coffee trembled against Malik's palm. The officer stepped closer, boots thudding against polished stone, breath scented with mint and authority. "You don't look like you belong in a place like this," Tate added. The words sliced. "Clean. Deliberate." Malik inhaled, steady but shaking. Something deep inside him, years of restraint, pressed against the edges of his silence. Before he could speak, Tate leaned in and whispered, "Step outside with me. We're not done." And there, beneath the towering glass arcs of the skyscraper Malik quietly owned, the world seemed to tilt, toward a confrontation no one else dared to see coming. The click of Malik's polished shoes echoed softly across the marble tiles, a familiar rhythm he'd grown used to in the early hours of the workday. The lobby was quiet, just the low hum of elevators and the muted chatter of two receptionists preparing for the morning rush. Malik lifted his coffee, letting the warmth settle into his palm. "Hey, you!" The voice landed hard behind him. Malik paused. He swallowed, then turned. Officer Harlan Tate stood with squared shoulders, boots planted wide, one hand resting near his holster like a reflex born of entitlement. The officer's gaze raked Malik up and down. "Show me your ID. Now." Malik blinked. "Is there a problem, officer?" Tate scoffed. "Did I say there was a problem? I told you to show ID." A few workers passed behind them, intentionally moving faster, pretending not to hear. Malik felt their silence press against him like a second wall. "I work in this building," Malik said, keeping his voice steady. "You work here," Tate repeated, as if testing the shape of the word. "Doing what exactly?" Malik tightened his grip on his coffee. "Just heading to my office." "That's not what I asked." Tate stepped closer, boots thudding against marble. "What's your job?" Malik exhaled slowly. "I don't have to explain my job to you." Tate's brow arched. "Oh, you think you're above answering. You think you can just stroll in and no one questions you." "I walked through the same doors as everyone else," Malik replied. "Same security check. Same morning." "Security must have been asleep," Tate muttered. "Because you don't look like you belong in a lobby like this." The words cracked something inside him. Malik's jaw clenched, breath tightening in his chest. He had heard variations of that sentence his entire life, each one delivered with the same lazy cruelty. "Officer, please," Malik said. "I'm just trying to start my day." "Don't move," Tate barked suddenly. Malik froze. Tate motioned to lobby security, who approached hesitantly. "You know this guy?" Tate demanded. The guard lifted a clipboard. "He comes through every day." "I think." "You think?" Tate snapped. "You don't know." The guard wilted. "He has an access card." "Cards can be borrowed," Tate said dismissively. "People lie all the time. But I'm sure you're too scared to admit that." Malik's chest burned. "Please stop talking to him like that. He did nothing wrong." "I'm talking to you," Tate growled. "You think you can just throw attitude and walk away?" Malik set his coffee down on a nearby end table, his hands trembling. "I'm not throwing anything. You approached me." "Because you're loitering," Tate snapped. "I'm standing in a lobby. And I'm telling you you're suspicious." Tate's radio crackled. He pressed a button. Tate requesting backup at Green Tower lobby. Possible trespassing suspect refusing to comply. Malik's heart thudded. Refusing? I didn't refuse anything. You asked for ID, I said I worked here. And I asked again. Tate jabbed a finger at Malik's chest. ID last chance. Malik slowly reached into his jacket pocket and retrieved his sleek black access card. Tate snatched it. This doesn't tell me anything. Could have been copied. Could have been stolen. It has my name. Anyone can print a name. The security guard shifted nervously. Officer Tate. The building has biometric. Quiet, Tate barked again. I'm not done. The guard fell silent, ashamed. Malik's breath hitched. Why are you doing this? Tate smirked. Because it's my job to keep places like this safe. From people like me. Malik whispered. Tate didn't answer. He didn't need to. His silence carried centuries. Step outside, the officer ordered. I haven't done anything. You're causing a disturbance in a secured property. Malik's voice cracked with restrained fury. You created the disturbance. Oh, we're clever now. Tate leaned in close enough for Malik to smell peppermint gum and stale arrogance. Here's what's happening. You're going outside with me, you're answering every question I ask, and you're going to stop acting like you own the place. The irony was a blade against Malik's ribs. Witnesses stood frozen at a distance. A woman whispered, poor man, but didn't step forward. Malik inhaled. Officer Tate, if you'd just listen. No, Tate cut him off. You listen. People who belong here don't argue. They cooperate. Malik felt heat rising beneath his skin. I've been more than cooperative. Then move. Tate grabbed Malik's arm. Not violently, but firmly enough to humiliate. Malik flinched. The guard opened his mouth, then shut it. No one intervened. As Tate steered him toward the glass doors, Malik's reflection stared back. Shoulders tight, jaw trembling, eyes burning with a mix of humiliation and something darker. Exhaustion. Years of these small devastations accumulating like sediment. He spoke quietly, hoping Tate would hear the truth buried inside the words. Why are you treating me like this? Tate didn't hesitate. Because you're hiding something. And I'm going to find out what. The doors slid open. Cold air rushed in. And with it, the slow, inevitable unraveling of Tate's certainty. Cold air clung to Malik's skin as Officer Tate guided him just past the revolving doors, stopping beneath the overhang where the morning wind funneled through the plaza. Commuters streamed around them, some slowing, some pretending not to notice, all of them calculating the safest distance from the unfolding humiliation. Stand right there, Tate ordered. Hands visible. Malik held his palms out. Officer, this is unnecessary. What's unnecessary, Tate said, circling him like a predator who believed the hunt justified itself. Is you thinking you can dictate how this goes? A pair of businessmen paused near the curb, whispering behind raised hands. Malik swallowed. I told you I work here. And I told you that's not enough, Tate snapped. He clicked his radio. Unit 12 status. Voice crackled back. 2 minutes out. Tate smirked. Good. We'll get this sorted once backup arrives. Malik took a steadying breath. Sorted? By what standard? I haven't broken any. Stop talking, Tate cut in. Every word makes you look guiltier. Guiltier of what? Malik's voice sharpened despite his effort. That, Tate said, pointing. Tone. Evasiveness. Attitude. A shrug. Suspicious behavior. Malik felt something collapse slightly inside him, the familiar ache of being measured against unspoken rules that changed the moment they were applied to him. You're twisting every word I say, he murmured. No, Tate corrected. I'm assessing risk. Several employees rushed toward the entrance, badges flashing over scanners. Some recognized Malik. He could see it in the flicker of their eyes. But not one approached. No one dared insert themselves between authority and accusation. That was the silence he hated most. A woman holding a latte slowed. Her eyes lingered on Malik's face, sympathy etched there, but she tightened her grip on her cup and continued walking. A small, helpless gesture, one he knew too well. He closed his eyes briefly. "Hey!" Tate tapped Malik's elbow. "Eyes open. I'm not telling you again." Malik stared at him. "I'm not resisting. I'm not running. I'm literally standing still." "That's because I told you to." "Told or threatened?" Tate stepped closer. "You're getting real close to obstructing." "I'm standing," Malik whispered, voice trembling despite his control. "You're the one escalating." Sirens approached. Soft at first, then louder. A patrol car rolled up, lights flashing but siren silenced. 2 officers stepped out, a stocky sergeant named Phelps and a younger officer whose gaze flickered with unease. Phelps frowned. "What's going on, Tate?" "Possible trespassing," Tate said quickly. Subject refused to present proper ID and became argumentative. Malik's jaw tightened. "I did present ID." "Quiet," Tate snapped. Phelps raised an eyebrow. "Let him speak." "No need," Tate countered. "I've got it handled." Malik looked at Phelps. "Sergeant, I didn't refuse anything. He approached me without cause." Phelps studied him, then turned back to Tate. "Why'd you pull him out here? Lobby has cameras. If he's trespassing, building security should." "Security's useless," Tate interrupted. "They don't enforce anything. I've seen a dozen people slip in behind employees." "That's not what happened," Malik said. Phelps motioned to the younger officer. "Marcus, run his card." Tate's eyes flashed. "No, don't. I mean, let's sort this verbally first." Marcus hesitated. "Protocol says ID verification is standard." Tate grabbed Malik's access card before he could finish. "I already checked it. Looks fake." "It's not fake," Malik said sharply. Marcus reached for the card. Tate didn't hand it over. Phelps frowned. "Tate, give him the card." Tate stiffened, then reluctantly slapped it into Marcus's palm. While Marcus stepped aside to scan the card with his handheld device, Tate folded his arms smugly. "See, this is why you should have cooperated." "I've been cooperating," Malik said. "You've been dismissing everything I say." "That's because nothing you say helps your case." Malik let out a hollow laugh. "What case?" "You created the case." Tate rolled his shoulders. "Watch your tone." Marcus approached again, device in hand. "It's inconclusive," he said softly. System flagged the badge as restricted. Tate grinned. "Restricted, huh? What did I tell you?" Marcus continued, glancing nervously at Malik. "Restricted doesn't mean invalid. It just means. It means he doesn't belong here," Tate cut in. "Thank you." Marcus looked down, unsure. Malik's phone buzzed in his pocket. Tate snapped. "Don't touch that." "It's my assistant," Malik said quietly. "I need to cancel a meeting." "How convenient," Tate muttered. Malik ignored him and answered. "Yes." A calm female voice came through. "Mr. Green, your 9 o'clock board prep, should I move it?" He hesitated, heart tightening. "Yes. Push everything back." Tate smirked. "Oh, pretending to run meetings now?" The comment stung harder than it should have. "Officer Tate," Malik said, "please stop belittling me." "I'm not belittling you." Tate lifted his chin. "I'm evaluating you." "For what?" Malik asked softly. "For existing in the wrong skin at the wrong height in the wrong lobby." Tate's face hardened. "Careful." Marcus shifted again, clearly uncomfortable. Phelps noticed. "Something wrong, Marcus?" the sergeant asked. Marcus opened his mouth, closed it. "No, sir. Just system lag." Malik caught the flicker of uncertainty, the split second where Marcus seemed to sense something was off, but lacked the courage to name it. That, too, was part of the silence. Tate raised his voice. "Until we confirm his identity, He stays outside. I came here to work, Malik said. I start every day in that building. Not today you don't, Tate replied. Malik felt heat crawl up his throat. I want your badge number. Tate's eyes narrowed. What did you just say? I want your badge number, Malik repeated. Phelps stepped forward. Tate. No, Tate jabbed a finger toward Malik. Don't play that game with me. It's not a game, Malik said. It's accountability. A dangerous stillness settled over Tate's face. Something fragile, something furious. Marcus looked from Tate to Malik, then at Phelps, silently pleading for direction. Phelps exhaled heavily. Tate, give the man your badge number. Tate's jaw tightened. I'll give it when I deem it appropriate. You mean never? Malik asked quietly. Tate glared. You think you have leverage here? Malik held his gaze. I think I have the right to know the identity of the officer detaining me. For the first time Tate faltered, not much but enough. Phelps spoke firmly. Tate. Badge. Now. Tate hesitated. Then reluctantly recited the number. Malik repeated it aloud, letting the words settle like a marker planted firmly in the ground. The air shifted. The silence around them, once protective of Tate, suddenly felt fragile. And Tate felt it too. His confidence cracked just slightly. Enough to foreshadow everything about to collapse. Wind pushed against Malik's blazer as Officer Tate stepped closer, authority radiating off him like heat. Marcus stood awkwardly to the side, still holding Malik's access card, as if it were something dangerous or fragile. Tate jerked his chin toward the plaza. We're moving. Further from the entrance. Malik's eyebrows drew together. Why? Because you're attracting attention. You dragged me out of the lobby, Malik said. You made this public. Tate's lips curled. And I'll keep doing what's necessary to maintain order. Sergeant Phelps sighed. Tate, maybe we keep it professional. It is professional, Tate snapped. Unless you'd like to take over. Phelps didn't respond. Tate stepped behind Malik, guiding him toward a row of concrete planters. People slowed as they passed, phones tilting subtly, lenses catching fragments of the moment. Not openly recording, yet recording all the same. Malik felt each glance like a needle. Tate, Phelps said evenly. Cameras are everywhere. Let's be careful. Tate brushed him off. I know what I'm doing. Malik glanced toward Marcus. Is the verification still running? Marcus nodded weakly. Systems, processing. It shouldn't take this long, Malik murmured. Tate overheard. Maybe it's taking long because the system knows you're lying. I haven't lied. Malik's voice hardened. Not once. Your attitude tells a different story. Malik let out a sharp breath. My attitude. I'm being restrained for existing in my own building. Tate rolled his eyes. There you go again. My building. Save it. Marcus shifted. Officer Tate, should we? Stay quiet, Tate ordered. Until I ask. Malik turned to Marcus, voice low. You don't have to stay silent if you see something wrong. Marcus's throat bobbed. Sir, I can't. Tate barked. Stop talking to the suspect. Malik stared at him. I'm not a suspect. You are until I say otherwise. Phelps folded his arms. Tate, that's not how that works. It's how it works today, Tate said coldly. A passerby finally raised her phone fully, not pretending anymore. Tate shot her a glare. Ma'am, put the phone down. It's a public plaza, she said. I can record. Tate took a step forward, but Phelps placed a hand on his arm. Leave her. We don't need more escalation. Tate huffed and stepped back. Malik exhaled slowly. This is all performative. You want people to see me standing out here like this. I don't care who sees you, Tate said. I care about keeping dangerous people out of secure places. Malik blinked. Dangerous. You're agitated. I'm being humiliated. You're raising your voice. Because you won't listen. That's enough. Tate gestured sharply. Turn around. Phelps stiffened. Tate, what are you doing? Detaining until identity is confirmed. That's excessive. No, Tate insisted. It's necessary. Malik felt a cold thread wrap around his spine. You're detaining me. For questioning walking into a lobby. You refused to comply. I complied with everything except unjust assumptions. Tate grinned. See? That's the type of language people use when they're hiding something. Malik's chest tightened with anger. Stop assuming I'm a threat. When you stop acting like one. I haven't acted. Phelps cut in. Enough. Tate, he's not resisting. Don't escalate. Tate snapped. Who's in charge here? The silence that followed answered the question. He was, but only because no one else wanted to be the one to restrain him. A group of 3 young men stopped at the edge of the plaza. One lifted his phone. Tyrant cop harassing a working man, one muttered. Tate pointed at them. Move along. They didn't. Malik almost smiled, just barely, but Tate stepped in front of him, blocking the view. You're not going to play martyr on my shift, Tate whispered sharply. Malik stared at him. I didn't choose this. You forced this. You could have walked the moment I asked for ID. I handed you ID. You gave me attitude. You degraded me. Tate's nostrils flared. Turn around. His hand hovered near his cuffs, not touching but close enough. Malik froze. The threat was unmistakable. Phelps stepped forward quickly. Tate, don't. This isn't justification for detention. Tate shot him a sharp look. He's obstructing. I'm standing still, Malik said. Standing still with hostility, Tate countered. Malik let out a disbelieving laugh. Hostility. You dragged me out of the building like a criminal. You're behaving like one. I'm breathing, Malik said, voice cracking. That's all I'm doing. The words settled heavily, echoing a fear thousands of others had lived. Marcus took a tentative step forward. Officer Tate. Maybe we should just wait for the system to finish. Tate rounded on him. Whose side are you on? Marcus flinched. There are no sides, sir. We're just. There's me, Tate snapped. And there's everyone else who wants to undermine protocol. Malik shook his head. Protocol isn't the problem here. Oh, what is? Tate asked. You, Malik said quietly. Tate stiffened. Watch yourself. A woman approached from the sidewalk, holding a phone. Sir, are you okay? She asked Malik. Tate stepped between them. Move away, ma'am. He looks distressed, she said. He's a suspect, Malik whispered. I'm not. Phelps rubbed his forehead. Tate, you're making this worse. Tate's eyes narrowed. Why? Because I'm doing my job. Because you're doing more than your job, Phelps said. Much more. Malik lifted his chin. Sergeant, can you tell him to step back? I'm trying, Phelps muttered. Before he could say more, Marcus's device beeped sharply. Everyone froze. Tate's voice dropped. What is it? Marcus hesitated. The system flagged the badge for high-level access. So, Tate snapped. So, Marcus swallowed. It's unusual for someone unverified to have this clearance. Malik met Marcus's eyes. Because I'm not unverified. Tate folded his arms. Means nothing. Until we know who he is. Marcus interrupted softly. Sir. Maybe we should run a secondary scan. You're not trained for secondary scans, Tate barked. But the system's requesting supervisor authentication, Marcus said. That doesn't usually happen unless. Unless what? Malik asked. Marcus glanced between them. Unless the badge belongs to someone with authority above building management. Tate's face twitched, just slightly. Malik felt a shift. Subtle. But present. Tate straightened. Fine. Run it. Then we'll see who's lying. Marcus stepped aside to perform the secondary scan. As he did, Tate leaned in close to Malik, his voice low and sharp. Whatever comes back, it won't save you from the attitude you've shown me today. Malik met his gaze calmly. I'm not the one who needs saving. For the first time, Tate's confidence wavered. Slightly. But enough for the moment to pivot. Enough to hint at everything coming next. Marcus held the scanner with both hands, the device beeping steadily as it authenticated Malik's badge through a secondary security channel. His expression shifted between confusion and dread, as if the information appearing on the screen did not align with anything he expected, nor anything Tate was prepared to face. Officer Tate hovered close, jaw tight. What's taking so long? Marcus swallowed. The system redirected me to supervisor-level verification. Then override it, Tate ordered. I can't. It's locked. It's asking for building-level clearance. Tate scoffed. The system's glitching. Try again. Marcus didn't move. Sir, this isn't a glitch. Malik watched quietly. The cold morning air tugged at the edge of his blazer, but his gaze remained steady, fixed on the unraveling authority before him. Tate stepped closer to Malik. Must be nice, watching everyone dance around your fake badge. It's not fake, Malik said. And deep down you know that. What I know, Tate snapped, is that people who belong here don't argue this much. People who belong here, Malik answered softly, shouldn't have to. Before Tate could fire back, a black sedan rolled toward the plaza, stopping abruptly near the curb. The tinted back window lowered halfway. A composed man with silver hair leaned out. Mr. Green. Tate turned sharply. Who are you? The man ignored him. His eyes were fixed on Malik. Malik sighed. Yes, Alan. I'm here. Alan stepped out of the car, adjusting his tailored coat as he approached. I received an alert. Your badge was flagged twice within the last 10 minutes. The board asked me to check immediately. Tate blinked. The board? Alan gave a stiff nod. Yes. The Board of Green Urban Development. Phelps shifted. Who are you exactly? Alan extended a card to him. Alan Reeves. Corporate Counsel. I represent Mr. Green. Tate snorted. Counsel. Oh, come on. For what? Trespassing. Alan glanced at Malik, then at Tate. Is that the accusation? Yes, Tate said smugly. And I'm detaining him until we confirm his identity. Alan locked eyes with him. You are detaining the registered owner of this building? Tate blinked. The what? Mr. Malik Green, Alan said clearly, owns Green Tower. As in, the skyscraper behind you. Phelps's jaw slackened. Marcus straightened, clutching the scanner as if it might explode. But Tate wasn't ready to surrender his certainty. That's impossible, he spat. He can't. Malik whispered. You didn't think someone like me could. Tate whipped around. Stay quiet. Alan folded his arms. Officer Tate, I strongly recommend you step back. I'm not stepping back from anything. Tate jabbed a finger toward Malik. He was suspicious. He refused to cooperate. He cooperated fully, Alan countered. He presented ID. Multiple times, I assume. Tate's eyes thinned. His attitude is irrelevant, Alan said sharply. What is relevant is that you detained a property owner outside his own building, in full public view, and escalated without cause. Phelps cleared his throat. Tate, maybe we made a mistake. No, Tate insisted. He acted like he was hiding something. Like what? Alan asked. Tate sputtered. Like he didn't belong. Malik held Tate's gaze. You didn't even consider I might. A long silence cracked between them. Then Marcus's scanner chirped loudly. All eyes snapped toward him. Marcus stared down at the screen, face draining of color. Officer Tate, the badge is valid. Tate scoffed. Obviously he tampered with it. Marcus shook his head violently. No, sir. It's not just valid. It's registered to the building owner's profile. Top-level clearance. His access outranks basically everyone, Alan added quietly. Including you. Phelps took a slow step back, exhaling. Oh God! Tate's face reddened. No. No, this doesn't. How could this? Marcus looked terrified. Sir. The system doesn't glitch at this level. If anything, it over-verifies. Alan turned toward Malik. Are you okay? Malik inhaled, slow and controlled. I'm fine. Physically. The unspoken part hovered between them. Emotionally was another matter. Tate pointed aggressively at Marcus. Run it again. I don't buy it. Marcus recoiled. I can't rerun it without triggering a report. A report to who? Alan answered. To the building board. And potentially internal affairs, depending on what they interpret from your detainment logs. Tate's shoulders tensed. I haven't done anything wrong. You've done everything wrong, Alan said calmly. Malik spoke softly. You didn't ask questions. You made assumptions. Tate turned on him. Don't play victim. I don't have to play anything, Malik replied. You made me a suspect because you didn't like the way I looked standing in a lobby. That's not what happened, Tate insisted, voice cracking. Alan raised an eyebrow. Is that your official statement? Tate's throat tightened. He looked at Phelps for support, but the sergeant's eyes were distant, calculating the weight of consequences. Phelps shook his head. Tate, you need to step back. Tate's voice dropped to a whisper. You're all turning on me because he's rich. No, Malik said. They're turning because the truth surfaced. Tate's grip tightened on his radio. I'm not stepping down. I know what I saw. I know what he was. Malik's voice sharpened. What was I? Tate stared at him, rage, fear, and disbelief swirling behind his eyes. You were out of place, he said quietly. That's all. Malik nodded slowly. And that, he whispered, is the entire problem. A hush fell over the plaza. Alan placed a hand on Malik's shoulder. Mr. Green, let's move inside. You shouldn't be standing out here like a criminal. Malik stayed still a moment longer, watching Tate's face crumble under the weight of his own assumptions. Phelps approached Malik gently. Sir. Sorry. Truly. Sorry doesn't fix a pattern, Malik replied. Tate glared at him. This isn't over. No, Malik said with calm finality. It isn't. And with that, the balance of power shifted, quietly, irrevocably, against the officer who believed he controlled it. The plaza had gone eerily quiet, too quiet for a place that usually buzzed with morning energy. Pedestrians hovered at a distance, unsure whether to linger or walk away. Every phone recording, every whispered comment, every shifting stare felt like part of a slow-building storm. Officer Tate stood rigid, his authority leaking through cracks he couldn't contain. Malik, meanwhile, remained still. His hands relaxed at his sides, posture steady. But inside, a different storm churned. Humiliation, exhaustion, and a calm he had been forced to learn long before this moment. Alan motioned toward the revolving doors. Mr. Green, let's head inside. You don't owe these people a spectacle. Malik didn't move. His eyes stayed on Marcus, who was still holding the scanner as if it weighed 100 pounds. Read it, Malik said quietly. Marcus's voice trembled. Sir, it confirms full ownership credentials, building-level access, executive rights, all issued to Malik Green. A murmur rippled through the onlookers. Tate's voice cracked. You're reading it wrong. I'm not, Marcus whispered. I triple-checked. And the system? It updated its location log. It flagged Mr. Green's badge because you forcibly removed him from his own property. Alan nodded. There it is. Phelps rubbed his temples. Oh, Tate, what have you done? Tate's breath grew shallow. No, this isn't. He can't be. He doesn't fit. Malik turned toward him slowly. Say it. Tate swallowed. Say what? Say why I don't fit, Malik said. Tate's jaw clenched. I don't need to justify anything to you. But you did, Malik replied. Every word you said was justification. Phelps cleared his throat, voice tense. Tate badge. What? Tate snapped. Badge, Phelps repeated. Hand it over. Tate recoiled. You're suspending me. Pending review, Phelps said. I don't have a choice. This is bigger than you. Tate's face turned red. You're doing this because he has money. Power. Malik shook his head. No. It's because you abused yours. Tate sneered. Easy to talk when you're rich. Malik's voice remained steady. Rich didn't save me from your assumptions. Rich didn't save me from standing outside my own building with my hands visible, trying not to look like a threat. Rich didn't stop you from deciding who I was before I said a single word. Alan stepped forward. Officer Tate, if you continue to speak to my client this way. Client? Tate barked. Oh, he's not a victim. He played all of us. No, Malik replied softly. You played yourself. The words hit with surgical precision. Tate stumbled a step backward, breath quivering. You think you can ruin my life with this? You ruined your own life with your choices, Malik answered. Not me. A cluster of workers approached timidly from the entrance. People Malik recognized from the elevators, from morning greetings he always offered and rarely received back. One of them, a young intern, whispered, That's really the owner? Another said, I didn't even know the owner was black. Malik heard it. So did Tate. And it hurt in a different way. Quiet, familiar. Marcus stepped forward tentatively. Mr. Green, I just want to say, sorry. I didn't speak up earlier. I should have. Malik met his eyes. Fear keeps a lot of people quiet. I understand. It doesn't make it right, Marcus whispered. No, Malik said. But it makes it human. Marcus nodded, shoulders slumping in guilt. Tate scoffed. Oh please. You're all eating out of his hand now. No one's eating anything, Alan said. We're acknowledging truth. A truth, Tate spat. That came too late. Malik tilted his head. Too late for what? Too late for me. Or too late for you to backtrack what you did on camera. Tate froze. 'Cause there were cameras. Dozens of them. Some held by strangers. Some built into the building facade. Some worn by the officers around him. And every one of them had collected fragments he could no longer deny. Phelps approached Malik cautiously. Sure. I'll be filing a full incident report. Internal Affairs will want a statement from you. Malik nodded. They'll get one. Tate scoffed. Oh, so now you'll play hero. Teach the world a lesson about racism. Malik turned fully toward him. You think this is about a lesson? What else would it be? Tate spat. It's about patterns, Malik said quietly. About how many times someone like me gets treated like a problem before someone like you realizes it's not a coincidence. Tate's throat tightened. You're twisting this. I don't have to twist anything, Malik replied. You made your beliefs clear. Tate's voice cracked. You're trying to destroy my career. You did that yourself. A heavy silence followed. Then Malik added the line that silenced even the wind. You saw what you wanted to see. The words settled like dust. Soft, inevitable, impossible to sweep away. Tate blinked hard, the truth striking his pride harder than any accusation. His voice dropped. I didn't. I wasn't trying to. Malik held up a hand. Intent doesn't erase impact. Phelps stepped in. Tate, please. Just stop talking. Tate looked around, at the cameras, at Marcus's downcast eyes, at Phelps's disappointment, at Alan's calm scrutiny, at the crowd witnessing his unraveling. And then at Malik. The realization hit him visibly. He wasn't in control anymore. He never had been. Marcus slowly approached Malik, extending the access card with trembling fingers. Sir, your card. Malik took it gently. Thank you. Alan placed a hand on Malik's back. Let's get you inside. Away from this. Malik hesitated, looking one last time at Tate, the man who had treated him like a threat simply for existing in a space he owned. Tate stared back, anger, shame, disbelief all swirling in a single broken expression. "You're not done with me," Tate whispered. "No," Malik said, stepping toward the door. "But you're done pretending this was ever about safety." The revolving doors spun open. Malik stepped inside, into the skyscraper that bore his name, into the quiet support of the people who suddenly realized who he was, into a new chapter that Tate never imagined he would face. The elevator doors closed with a soft sigh, sealing Malik inside with Alan. The quiet interior, lined with brushed steel and LED lighting, felt like a sanctuary after the chaos outside. Malik leaned against the rail, finally allowing his breath to tremble. Alan watched him carefully. "You okay?" "No," Malik said honestly. "But I'm standing. That's something." The elevator chimed, carrying them upward. Malik stared at the ascending numbers. Alan folded his hands. "The board knows something happened. They just don't know what." "They will," Malik replied. "Everyone will." When the doors slid open, Malik stepped into the executive floor. Quiet, polished, orderly. His assistant, Dawn, rushed toward him. "Mr. Green," she gasped. "We saw something online. Are you all right?" Malik sighed. "Define all right." Dawn's eyes softened. "Do you want me to call your family?" "No," Malik said quickly. "Not yet." Dawn glanced nervously at Alan. "Sir, clips are already circulating. People outside recorded the whole thing." Malik stiffened. "How many clips?" "A lot," Dawn whispered. "Some have thousands of views already." Alan exhaled. "It's starting." Malik walked toward the window overlooking the city, the skyline rising like a steel tide. His reflection stared back, calm, composed, but fractured beneath the surface. "I didn't want this," he said quietly. Alan stepped beside him. "But it's here. Now we manage it." Dawn hesitated. "Sir, the mayor's office called." Malik turned. "The mayor? They want a statement," she said. "They're asking if you intend to press charges or make a public comment." Malik rubbed his forehead. "I haven't even processed what happened. And they want a quote." Dawn nodded. "Public incidents escalate fast." Malik closed his eyes. "Incidents? Is that what we're calling it?" Dawn swallowed. "What would you call it?" Malik didn't answer. He didn't have to. Downstairs, reporters were gathering near the plaza barrier, camera crews forming a semicircle around the steps. The building's PR team was already responding to frantic emails. On the executive floor, Malik's phone buzzed non-stop. Text, missed calls, emails from people who hadn't spoken to him in months. Alan skimmed his device. "Officer Tate is trending." Malik turned sharply. "Trending for what?" Alan read the headline aloud. "Officer Harasses businessman in lobby. Later learns he's the owner." Malik grimaced. "That headline is weaponizing what happened. It's entertainment to them." "It's exposure," Alan said. "And exposure creates accountability." Malik sighed. "Accountability or spectacle? You know how these things go." Dawn looked between them. "Sir, do you want to make a statement?" "No," Malik said. "Not yet. I need time to think." Alan lowered his voice. "With respect, you may not have much time." "Meaning?" Malik asked. "Meaning people are already building their own versions of the story." Alan gestured to the screen. "Narratives spread fast." Malik frowned. "The truth should be enough." Alan gave a weary smile. "It should be. But truth doesn't travel as quickly as outrage." A soft knock interrupted them. Marcus stepped into the room, hat in hand, posture slumped. Malik blinked in surprise. "You're here." Marcus nodded. "Sergeant Phelps asked me to check on you. And I wanted to apologize again. In person." "You shouldn't have to apologize for his actions," Malik said. "I didn't stop them," Marcus whispered. "I didn't speak." "I didn't." He swallowed hard. "I saw what was happening. And I froze. Malik studied him. A young officer caught in a system older than him, shaped by fears he hadn't yet unlearned. Fear makes people freeze, Malik said gently. That's human. But silence has consequences. Marcus's shoulders fell. I know. And I'm sorry. Truly. Alan stepped forward. Officer Marcus, Internal Affairs will want your testimony. Marcus nodded. I'll tell them everything. All of it. Malik extended a hand. Thank you. Marcus hesitated, then shook it. Felt like the start of something. Small, fragile, necessary. When Marcus left, Dawn spoke softly. Sir, what do you want to do next? Malik leaned against his desk. What I want is to go back to normal. But that's gone now. Alan nodded. Normal changes after moments like this. Malik exhaled. What are my options? Option 1, Alan began. You release a short statement expressing your disappointment and trusting the investigation process. No, Malik said quickly. That sounds like corporate distancing. Like I'm afraid to speak truth. Option 2, Alan continued. You stay silent until the city finishes its review. That lets others tell the story for me, Malik replied. Option 3, Dawn said carefully. You speak openly. Tell the public what happened in your own words. Malik stared at his reflection in the window. And let strangers dissect my pain. My humanity. Dawn's voice softened. Sir, people listen when leaders speak. Especially leaders who've lived what others only debate. Malik closed his eyes. He knew she was right. He just wasn't sure he wanted the burden. Alan's phone vibrated again. More pressure, he muttered. The mayor's office wants confirmation you're safe. The police chief wants a briefing. News networks want interviews. Malik gave a bitter laugh. Amazing. Earlier today, I was just a suspicious man in my own building. And now, Dawn said gently, you're the center of a conversation you didn't ask for. Malik sat down slowly. Do I have a responsibility to speak? Alan hesitated. Not legally, Dawn said, but morally. Maybe. Malik rubbed his temples. If I speak, they'll expect strength. But I'm tired. No one expects you to be invincible, Dawn said. They do, Malik whispered. Because when you're black and successful, you're supposed to be unshakable, untouchable. And today proved I'm not. Neither Dawn nor Alan spoke. Because there was nothing to say. Malik stood up abruptly. I need air. He walked toward the balcony overlooking the city. Dawn and Alan followed at a distance, giving him space. The wind brushed his face. Cars moved like slow currents far below. The city stretched endlessly, indifferent and magnificent. Maybe speaking isn't about me, Malik said quietly. Maybe it's about everyone who's lived a version of this and never had the chance to be heard. Dawn smiled sadly. Then speak for them. He nodded slowly. Prepare a statement. Nothing dramatic. Nothing polished. Just truth. Alan exhaled with relief. I'll draft it. Malik shook his head. No. I'll write it myself. The press will want it soon, Alan said. They'll get it, Malik replied. Dawn looked at him with warmth. You're doing the right thing. Malik placed both hands on the balcony railing. No, he whispered. I'm doing the necessary thing. And outside on the plaza far below, the news cameras kept rolling, waiting for the man who had been humiliated in front of his own building to decide whether the world would hear his voice. Officer Harlan Tate sat in a cramped conference room inside the precinct, his knee bouncing beneath the metal table. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead, washing everything in a dull, unforgiving glare. A stack of complaint files lay unopened in front of him, thick, heavy, damning. His commanding officer, Captain Rourke, paced behind him with a tight jaw. Do you have any idea what kind of chaos you've caused? Tate clenched his fists. I did my job. You detained the owner of a skyscraper, Rourke snapped. In front of cameras. While ignoring protocol. while escalating a non-incident into a public disaster. Tate shook his head. He acted suspicious. He wasn't responding to direction. He presented ID, Rourke countered. Multiple times. It didn't look legitimate, Tate insisted. The way he carried himself. Rourke stopped pacing. Say that again. Tate's throat tightened. He acted like he didn't belong. Rourke sighed sharply. You decided he didn't belong. That's not fair. It's exactly fair. Tate slammed his palm on the table. You weren't there. You didn't see how defiant he was. Rourke leaned in. I saw the footage, Harlan. Everyone saw it. Tate's face paled. They're twisting it. No, Rourke said. They're seeing it. Across town, in newsrooms buzzing with commentary, Tate's face replayed over and over. His posture rigid, his voice raised, his assumptions exposed. Networks dissected every second of the footage. A reporter on one broadcast announced, Officer Tate is facing mounting scrutiny after detaining Malik Green, yes, the Malik Green, outside his own building in what many are calling a clear abuse of authority. Another commentator said, this isn't an isolated incident. Tate's record shows previous use of force inquiries. None of it was new to Tate. But seeing it laid bare felt like a blow to the chest. Back inside the precinct, Tate buried his face in his hands. I'm being set up. No one set you up, Rourke said. You set yourself up. Tate's voice trembled. He tricked me. Played innocent. He was innocent, Rourke replied sharply. You escalated. You antagonized. You ignored your partner's cues. You refused instruction from a superior. Tate stared at him, stunned. Marcus wasn't my superior. He had more sense than you, Rourke muttered. Tate's jaw tightened. So now I'm the villain. Because he's rich. Rourke's eyes narrowed. This isn't about money. It's about perception, procedure, and prejudice. The last word stung like a slap. Don't, Tate whispered. Don't call me that. I didn't call you anything, Rourke said. I'm asking you to look at your actions. Tate stood abruptly, chair scraping the floor. I treated him the same as anyone else. Rourke didn't move. No, you didn't. That's the problem. Tate's chest tightened, breath shallow. I did what I thought was right. And now Internal Affairs wants you in an hour, Rourke said. Sit down. Tate didn't. Because the truth, unwelcome, uninvited, pressed down on him. He wasn't in control anymore. Meanwhile, in the hallway outside the precinct office, officers whispered. That's the guy. The one from the video. Yeah. Apparently he grabbed the owner of the building. What an idiot. His career's done. Tate walked out and heard every word. The whispers stung worse than the headlines. He marched past them, shoulders stiff, ignoring their stares. Back home, Tate sat on his couch, staring at the muted television. Every channel seemed to show the same clip. Him stepping in front of Malik, ordering him outside, ignoring warnings, treating him like a criminal. His phone buzzed relentlessly. Mom, call me. I'm worried. Brother man, what did you do? Police union rep. We need to talk about damage control. Damage control. The phrase tightened his throat. He turned the TV volume up. A reporter said, in a system already under scrutiny for racial profiling, this incident has reignited public debate about bias within law enforcement. Another anchor added, the officer in question has faced complaints before. Use of force, unprofessional conduct. This is not an isolated moment. Tate threw the remote, watching it skid across the floor. They're lying, he whispered to himself. All of them. This is blown out of proportion. But even as he said it, the footage, replaying silently on screen, betrayed him. Posture, tone, the dismissiveness, the assumption. He didn't look like a protector. He looked like a threat. The next morning, Tate walked into Internal Affairs. Fluorescent lights, gray walls, cold chairs, the bureaucratic architecture of consequences. A woman at the desk said, Officer Tate? Interview room 3. He hesitated. Is my rep here yet? In the room, she replied crisply. Tate entered. His union representative, Brody, sat waiting. Brody didn't smile. Tough spot, Harlan, Brody said. Real tough. Tate, Saturday. This whole thing is exaggerated. Brody shook his head. No. It's recorded. Tate swallowed. You're supposed to be on my side. I'm here to keep you from losing your pension, Brody said bluntly. But I can't erase evidence. Tate leaned forward desperately. What if he hadn't been the owner? What if he was just some guy? Brody stared. Then why'd you assume he wasn't supposed to be there? Tate froze. I didn't assume, he trailed off. Brody didn't blink. Didn't you? Tate's jaw worked silently. Brody continued. Harlan. This isn't just one mistake. It's a pattern. NIA has your file. They're not blind. Tate shook his head, tears gathering. I'm not a bad cop. I didn't say you were, Brody replied softly. But you made a bad decision. And now the world is watching. Tate covered his face with his hands. I didn't think, he whispered. I didn't think it would blow up like this. Brody sighed. Prejudice always blows up eventually. You just never expect to be caught on the wrong side of the blast. Tate trembled. For the first time, the collapse wasn't just public. It was internal. A recognition he had fought all his life. Not because he hadn't seen it, but because he had never been forced to confront it. Until Malik. Until the cameras. Until the truth. The morning sunlight streamed through the vast windows of Malik's home office, casting warm gold across the hardwood floor. He sat at his desk, a blank document glowing on the screen before him. His fingers hovered over the keyboard but wouldn't move, not yet. He wasn't afraid of speaking. He was afraid of being misunderstood. Again, soft knock sounded. Dawn peeked in. Sir. The press conference is in 40 minutes. Malik inhaled slowly. Everything ready? Yes, she said. It's a lot of people, Mr. Green. I figured. Dawn stepped closer. Sir, people are listening. Truly listening. Whatever you say today is going to matter. And if I say nothing? He asked quietly. Dawn shook her head. Silence won't protect anyone. Malik sighed. I know. She hesitated at the door. Sir. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. When she left, he looked again at the blank screen. Then, finally, his hands began to move. An hour later, the lobby of Green Tower, once the site of humiliation, had transformed into a press staging area. Cameras lined the marble floors. Microphones pointed toward a small podium placed intentionally in front of the central skylight. Reporters murmured. Photographers checked their lenses. Onlookers filled every corner, waiting for the man whose story now stretched across headlines, timelines, conference rooms, and dinner tables. Malik stepped out of the elevator. The crowd fell silent. He walked to the podium with steady steps, wearing a dark suit that made him look both grounded and resolute. Behind him stood Dawn, Alan, several board members, and, unexpectedly, Marcus, present in quiet solidarity. Malik adjusted the microphone. Thank you for being here. Cameras clicked rapidly. He continued, voice calm but strong. 2 days ago, I walked into the lobby of a building I've worked in for years, a building I own, and was treated as a threat by someone sworn to protect the public. Reporters leaned closer. What happened wasn't just about one officer, Malik said. It was about assumptions, patterns, systems that decide who belongs and who doesn't. Murmurs spread across the room. I'm not here to attack. And I'm not here to destroy lives. I'm here because what happened to me happens to countless people who don't have cameras watching, who don't own buildings, who don't have lawyers who arrive in black sedans. The crowd stilled, listening deeply. I have privilege, Malik said firmly. But privilege didn't stop the humiliation. It didn't stop the fear in that moment. It didn't stop the public stripping away of my dignity. He paused. I'm speaking today because there are people who go through worse and stay silent, because silence was the only thing keeping them safe. His voice softened. Silence should not be the cost of survival. One reporter raised a hand. Mr. Green, what do you want to see happen to Officer Tate? Malik considered carefully. I don't want revenge, he said. I want accountability. Not just for him. For the system that shaped his assumptions, justified his decisions, and allowed him to act with impunity. Another reporter shouted. Are you pressing charges? Malik nodded slowly. Yes. I am cooperating fully with internal affairs. I'm choosing transparency because healing requires truth. Marcus shifted behind him, visibly uneasy but standing tall. Malik continued. But this isn't just about consequences. It's about responsibility. On all sides. He stepped away from the podium slightly, addressing the public more than the press. I will be funding a mandatory anti-bias training program for all private security firms contracted through Green Urban Development, including the team assigned to this building. Whispers rippled. I will also partner with city organizations to develop community programs that bridge trust between residents and law enforcement. He looked toward the camera, directly, unflinchingly. We can't dismantle prejudice overnight. But we can stop pretending it isn't there. He took a breath. And we can begin today by choosing courage over fear. As the conference ended, reporters shouted more questions, but Malik stepped back, letting Dawn and Alan manage the aftermath. Marcus approached him timidly. Mr. Green, your speech, it meant a lot. Malik nodded. You showed courage too. You told the truth. Marcus swallowed. Tate, he's on suspension. IA says more disciplinary action is coming. I know, Malik said. Marcus's voice cracked. I never thought. Malik placed a hand gently on his shoulder. Change doesn't start with perfect people. It starts with honest ones. Marcus blinked hard, emotion forming in his eyes. Thank you, sir. Upstairs, after the crowd dispersed, Malik returned to his office. Dawn waited for him with a glass of water. You did beautifully. Malik exhaled. I did what I had to. She nodded. Sometimes that's what beauty looks like. He looked at the skyline beyond the glass. Sunlight catching steel, the city alive and unaware of the quiet battles fought in its shadows. Tate's world was crumbling elsewhere in the city. Suspension papers on his desk, unions scrambling to contain fallout, the internet dissecting every freeze frame of his downfall. But Malik didn't feel triumphant. He felt tired, relieved, changed, and yet still carrying the weight of every moment that led here. Dawn spoke softly. What now? Malik turned back to his screen, the half-finished statement still open. Now, he said, I rebuild. Your reputation, she asked. No, Malik shook his head. Their expectations. She smiled. And yourself. He paused, then nodded. That too. He closed the laptop gently, a symbolic ending. And a beginning. As the day faded, Malik walked through the lobby alone. The same marble floor. The same quiet echo. But something fundamental had shifted. People nodded respectfully. Some whispered, that's him. But no one looked through him anymore. He stopped beneath the skylight where Tate had first confronted him. The sunlight spilled warmly across his shoes. Malik breathed deeply. Not with fear. Not with exhaustion. But with ownership, of space, of voice, of a story no longer defined by someone else's assumptions. Then he whispered to himself, with quiet conviction. I belong here.